Oh, baby. How are we doing today, squad? Let's go. Shout out the SDS. Drop an SDS in the chat if you're vibing with your boy. I hope you guys are having a phenomenal Friday. Happy Friday to you all. It is also good old April Fools, baby. So hopefully you haven't got today. Hopefully you've been on the lookout. Shout out all the squad hopping in here. We see all the SDS hopping in. Smash that like button if you haven't already. We got some stuff to talk about today. We are going to do some mock drafting live. And I'm very, very excited because the first time we did a mock draft live today or this year, we were getting a little crazy. We were feeling like, Garoppolo's stock was at an all-time high. We were ready to trade him away for the 11th overall pick. Oh, how times have changed. But we're going to get into it. We're going to do our first mock draft. You guys are going to pick who we take, so I'll be able to do all that good stuff. We need more of this energy. We need Brian Burns to the Bay. Fun fact, Brian Burns will be in the Bay this weekend. No, not this weekend. Next weekend. He will be with Eric Armstead at a football camp up in Sacramento. So Brian Burns will be in the Bay coming on up. So let's mock at 6. I got my mock mustache going. Let's get the mock mustache going. We're getting ready. It's Friday. I got to get the mock mustache going, looking like the Mad Hatter or something. I don't know. Straight out of the 1920s. I got the mock mustache. Let's go. So, but like I said, Brian Burns going to be in the Bay in about on the 9th up in Sacramento. I'm actually kind of, a little not upset, but just like, dang it. Because I would have been there. I'd be going. It's a football camp. I would have pulled up. Eric Armstead's going to be there. It's actually Shaq Thompson. It's going to be his football camp. I would have pulled up. But I will be on vacation next week. So a bit of a scheduling alert as well. From next Wednesday to the following Wednesday, I will be on vacation, and I have no idea what the live schedule will look like. I don't even know if I'll be doing lives. We're going to figure it out because it's time for your boy to go on a little vacation. So, but we got the mock stash going. But we need that Brian Burns energy, 100%. We need that Brian Burns energy. Let's see. Let's talk some updates here quickly. Before we hop into it. We had some light updates come through today. Nothing too crazy. But let's get into it. Hold on one second. That's not what I want. Refresh. So we got word today. Some schedules have been dropped. The 49ers offseason program will begin on the 19th. OTAs officially start for the 49ers on May 23rd. Mandatory minicamp June 18th. And by all accounts, does appear these two quarterbacks will be on the roster when that time comes around. So J-Tan says, my guess is that you will be going live while on vacation. You're probably right. We're always working. Who knows? It would be so like just on brand for me to be on vacation and the 49ers actually do make a wild trade Jimmy Garoppolo, get Brian Burns onto the squad. I'm over here in the middle of the wilderness. No service, no nothing. It feels like, hey, but if that's what it takes, if it takes me being in the middle of nowhere with no service for a Brian Burns trade to facilitate, and I miss out on the hype, I'll take it. Because when I come on, it's going to be litty if that ever does happen. But again, these were some updates on some scheduling today. So we're getting close, guys. We're getting close. It is the off season, but we're getting to that point where players are going to be getting their last vacations in. Players are going to be doing, getting all their stuff in order before they head to Santa Clara for the off-season program. And once minicamp is over, the 49ers will break, and then they will come back for training camp, probably end of July, typically right there at the beginning of August. So, hey, that's what it is. So we'll see. But as we know, the Jimmy Garoppolo situation, he won't be healthy likely. So I don't imagine him participating in OTAs. What will be interesting is if he will be there, if he will be in the building. If Jimmy Garoppolo is actually in the locker room, that is going to be the one thing that we're going to be watching for in these coming weeks. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how all that plays out. The dynamic is going to be interesting because by all accounts, Trey Lance will be the starter. But hey, we know that locker room likes Jimmy Garoppolo. So you let Jimmy back in, I think anything can happen. So, but we'll see. But like I said, I don't think he'll be practicing. So Trey Lance will get all the reps, him and Nate Sudfeld. I don't think we would potentially see Jimmy until training camp. So it's going to be interesting. We'll continue to figure it out. But that is the pretty much one update, I believe, that we got today. It's also the 1-year anniversary of George Kittle pranking all 49ers fans into believing that he was traded to the Jacksonville Jaguars. So that is today, April Fool's. Again, hopefully you haven't got today, because last year, this was epic. This way, this direction. This was epic. This one got everyone. It even got John Lynch. It was quite the day last year when George dropped all that good stuff. So what a day. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm not the biggest fan of April Fools, especially on the IG app, because people be wilding. So, hey, it is what it is. But I would say now would be a perfect time for us to transition into our mock draft live. Are you guys ready? Do you guys have your big boards all set up? Everything. So is this Cap speaking? Is Brian J? Do we have a rebrand in progress? Do we have like a live rebrand? Because from my understanding, when I see the For Life logo, I think of Cap speaking. So we might have a little rebrand here going with Cap, but we'll have to see. And he confirms we got a rebranding. Let's go. I'm still calling you Cap, my boy. I'm still calling you Cap, my boy. Shout out, Brian. Always showing love to the channel. We appreciate you guys. Really quickly, I want to see what you guys think about this. We had an artist, Bale Creates. He put together a couple concepts regarding some jersey redesigns. What do you guys think? Let's do our first poll. We'll get a poll in, and then we'll move to the mock draft. But we'll title these 1. So this will be 1. This will be 2. This will be 3. This will be 4. Which one of these jersey concepts do you like the best? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Do you not care? A lot of people might not even like any of these. I'm interested to see what you guys have to say. I think they're pretty cool. I like the kind of, back to the mid 90s look right here. I think that's kind of sick. All black isn't too bad either. They're all kind of cool in my opinion. I wouldn't mind having the all blacks back, but let's see what you guys are dropping in the chat. Anthony says 1. Justin says 1. We got a 4 all blacks. We got the 3, 1, 4. EJ says, give me all of them. Davo likes that throwback vibe. I would have to agree. There a lot of them are red and gold. So 2. Hendrick says, just bring the old black jerseys back. These not it. Travis says 3. Rome says, if the helmets were all gold, all would be dope. But hey, some of them are pretty cool. I like them. I think they're dope. I wouldn't mind seeing another jersey iteration for the 49ers. Eloy doesn't like any of them. But like I said, you get mixed responses up and down the board. But hey, 1 only. 1, 3. All right. So let's do this. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Let's get into some mocking. Let's mock draft. Let's mock now. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use a different mock draft machine today. Last time we used PFF. Today, I want to use the Draft Network just to keep it fresh because, again, they have different boards. So I like mocking. I like mocking across like different mock draft simulations just because they have different rankings. So, you do PFF enough times, you're going to know exactly how it's going to fall. The rankings aren't going to change. It gets kind of repetitive at a certain point. So I do like hopping around into different mock draft platforms. So today we are going to use the Draft Network's mock draft machine. Are you guys ready? I got my mock draft mustache ready to go. If you guys have a mock draft mustache, get it already. Very important part of mock drafting. You got to have the mock draft mustache ready. So let's get into it. All right, let's start the draft. Let's go. And you can see the board falling. Oh, we're going to be waiting a long time, man. 49ers aren't even going to have a first round pick. As of right now, at least. So, first night of the draft, the 49ers theoretically aren't going to be a part of it. They aren't going to be a part of it. So, on day 2, 49ers pull up at pick 61. I think we would all kind of agree that we would like to see them move up. But hey, just in case they don't, this is now where we land. You can see team needs interior offensive line, cornerback, edge, safety. They even have a need as quarterback or running back, interior defensive line, linebacker. So this is how we're going to do it. You will be able to see that we do have a board here available. You can see available picks, and how we're going to try to do this is the most common answer in the chat will be the pick. So, which is it going to be? Who do you want to see the San Francisco 49ers select at pick 61 right here? Where are they going? Are they going edge first? Are they going running back maybe? Doubt it. But if you want to go edge, here are the available edges. You have Cameron Thomas out of San Diego State, Logan Hall out of Houston, Josh Pascal out of Kentucky, Kingsley. Javon taught me how to say this. Let me try to not butcher it. Inigbare. They call him JJ. So you got JJ, Drake Jackson, Nick Batonio. I mean, you even got Myjai Sanders down here, D'Angelo Malone. But I'm going to go ahead and say if you want to target these guys, you can get them later. So I like this one. Brian Burns at 61. Absolutely. Let's take a look at the safeties, though. We don't have to go edge because we also have the ability to go safety. Kirby Joseph. I love Kirby Joseph. He's one of my favorite prospects in this class. He's out of Illinois. You also have Nick Cross, who's going to be another strong target. Brian Cook's another guy that I really like. So you got safeties available. Let's see. Any wide receivers that piques anyone fancy? You got David Bell, my guy. But David hasn't tested well, so it'll be interesting to see if his stock falls. You got guys like Khalil Shakur that maybe you can go and target later. Calvin Austin, Burner out of Memphis, John Mechie out of Alabama could all be targets as well. Let's see what the cornerbacks are looking like. We got Alontae Taylor, Marcus Jones. Hey, the 49ers need a slot corner. 49ers need a slot corner too. So Justin says, can you trade down? Not with this particular one. I don't have the pro subscription. So again, right now we're kind of looking through the prospects. We're kind of seeing how everything looks. Do we want to take an offensive tackle? Maybe we can look later, but you have Dylan Parham if you want to go interior offensive line. Darian Kennard, Ed Ingram, Cole Strange, Spencer Buford, Alec Lindstrom, the boy Donovan West. These three right here, I am just as high on as any of these other guys. So maybe put our GM cap on. We're like, we'll kick O-line out a little bit. Maybe we don't go there just yet. So drop it in the chat. Who do you guys want to draft? Let's hear it. Start now. Drop it in the chat. We are going to pick the name that comes up the most. So start dropping them. Let's see who you guys want to get. So far, I'm seeing safety being a high target. I'm seeing edge being a high target. So to me, it feels like we're going between edge or safety. So far, getting lots of edge. So we're narrowing it down. We're going to go edge round one. Now, out of these available edges, who do you want to see? Cameron Thomas, underrated out of San Diego State. I really haven't seen anyone talk about Cameron Thomas. He is kind of a big end, in my opinion. Logan Hall out of Houston has great length. He has the ability to move inside and outside. Logan Hall kind of reminds me of Eric Armstead just a little bit. Of course, Inagbare is going to be a speed rusher coming off the edge. Drake Jackson is going to be an ascending type of prospect. I believe he's only 20 years old right now. So he's going to be a guy who continues to mature, continues to grow, and get better. Nick Bonito, he's one of those kind of hybrid edge guys, could possibly play linebacker. He could drop back. He can rush the passer. So let's see what we got here. So far for the edge, we're getting a vote. We got votes for Logan Hall. We got votes for another vote for Hall. We got a Drake Jacks. So it's 2 versus 2. Oh boy, we got a 3-way tie right off the bat. We got 2 Drakes, 2 JJs, 2 Halls. We got a Benito. Hall is now leading. Back to a tie. Hall back in front. Back to a tie. So far, we get right now it feels like this is a race between Hall and Inigbare. So this is close, guys. This is close. Oh boy, it's getting close. Hall or JJ? Do we want to, again, remember when we had Javon Kinlaw on, what did he say? We talked about Inigbare and what he's like, that's real chemistry. You get him over here, that's real chemistry. Rome, I wish I knew how to do a poll. I don't know how to do that. I don't know if StreamYard, to be honest, offers polls. Because I'm using a third-party service, so I don't think they actually offer me the ability to put polls. If I could, I absolutely would. Man, this is close. I might have to actually count these up because this is close. Oh my goodness. All right, we got to sway it one way or the other. Drop it, Hall or Inigbare. Oh boy. 49ers Amateur says 49ers have a major pipeline to SC. Pause. All right, we're getting Hall. We getting JJ, Hall. Oh, he wants to change his to AK Hall. Okay, all right. We're starting to see clearly now that the rain is gone. It is starting to tip towards the South Carolina kid. We're going to do it. The 49ers with the 61st overall pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. The San Francisco 49ers select Kingsley Inigbare out of South Carolina, edge draft. All right, so just like that, the 49ers grab an edge to pair on the opposite side of Nick Bosa. I personally like this pick, not only because of the South Carolina bloodlines, but because just like Javon Kinlaw told us, you see it exactly on tape, he is an edge rusher in every sense of the word. Now, base downs, probably going to need some work. He's still kind of a raw prospect, in my opinion, but I see a guy that you can mold. He's got the athletic traits and tools that you need. You put him with Chris Kursek. You allow him to learn off guys that are already in the building, like Omenahue, obviously Bosa. You got Samson Ebukam. I like it. So we were able to scratch edge off the list. Edge is taken care of. Now, drop what position. We're gonna do it this way. We're gonna go position first, drop the position. Once we agree on position, then we will move to player. So what position do you think, based on how the board is stacked right now as we're looking at it at 93, do we want to see? Let me get edge off the board. So this is how the board currently stacks. You have guys like maybe Calvin Austin. I don't think it would make sense to necessarily target linebackers at this position. You can obviously argue going best player available, but I believe the 49ers are in a situation where they have to draft a little bit for need because they haven't been able to be big time contributors into free agency. So as a result, there are some holes that still exist. So far, we got offensive line, we got center. Oh, he's calling for Donovan West. So far, we got 3 interior offensive linemen. We got wide receiver, offensive tackle, safety. Now, remember, safety, we have Odom. We signed Odom 3 years, 10, I believe about $10.5 million. So we had signed someone who could potentially start, but maybe the 49ers do want to turn to a pick right here. Remember, too, the 49ers are selecting right here at 105. So we got to be a little bit of gamesmanship, a little bit of playing the board, a little bit of seeing who we think can fall, who will be available, trying to take the best value at 93 and then pushing to 105 to see if we can see a player that we really like fall to us. So let's see what we got. Brunel's calling for a safety. Draft Scouts calling for O-line. We got center, O-line. So it looks to me this is a race between offensive line and safety. We are seeing some wide receivers, but again, I'm looking at 105, and I'm like, I bet we could get a nice wide receiver at 105. Now might be the time to go offensive line. Now might be the time to go safety. So, but as I'm seeing it in the chat per you guys, it does look like offensive line is taking the lead. So, as a result, we are going to make an executive decision and we are going to draft offensive line. Now, this is going to be an interesting situation because I think we would all agree that interior offensive line would be a good spot to target here, but maybe there's a world that exists where they go tackle. But based on how the board is falling here and seeing the ranks, I'm going to go ahead and say we're going to kick tackle to a potentially later round, 105, maybe beyond, because as we can see, based on how our board's stacking, the value doesn't really match. So we're not going to go offensive tackle here. We're going to kick back to interior offensive line. And I believe I think Cam Jurgens can be a day one starter. I think Fortner has the ability to be a day one starter. I think West has the ability to be a day one starter. Cole Strange has the ability to be a day one starter, and he is highest on the list right now. So let's see. Where are we going? Where are we going here? We going Cole? We going Cole Strange? Looks like that's Strange. Oh baby. Let's go. I love that pick too. I love that pick. Doctor Strange. The chat is shifting towards Strange. It would be very difficult for me, even as someone who absolutely loves Donovan West, right here, if you gave me Strange or you gave me Jurgens, I would have a very hard time selecting because I really like Jurgens, but I also like Strange. And so, but I love West. So for me, this would be really, really tough. And to be honest, what Justin's saying, how late will Jurgens be there? I would assume in the mock draft, we could probably get Jurgens at 105. So now this is where we start to think about value because theoretically, we could take Cole Strange right here and opt for a different player. Or we could potentially take a Calvin Austin, maybe go crazy and take a James Cook, get a Greg Dulcich to be a legitimate tight end too, and kick interior offensive line to 105. So I want you to put your GM cap on and start thinking about value. Do you want to go potentially with a Calvin Austin and kick Cam Jurgens or a Donovan West at 105? Or do we opt for Cole Strange here, take best available? Let's see what you guys are feeling. Justin says, I'm looking at Khalil Shakur or Dulcich. So what are we thinking? Do we want to kind of adjust a little bit, get a little crazy, play the value game, see who's available at 105? It's going to be interesting. What are you guys thinking? Drop what you want. Do you want Strange? You want Dulcich, James Cook, Calvin Austin? What are we thinking? So far, Strange. Someone, Nolan wants to see what safety's looking like. So safety, my guys have gone. So you can see, again, value doesn't really stack. It feels like we would be going for a reach to take safety here. Oops. So maybe safety isn't it. But so far, based on the chat, we're getting a lot of Strange. Oh, boy. We're getting a lot of Strange. So I'm going to go ahead and say it. We're going to go ahead and take – hold on. Let's get it back. All right. With the 93rd pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select center Cole Strange out of Chattanooga. Boom. All right, let's see how we're looking so far as the board continues to go. So far, we have taken edge with Kingsley Enagbare and Cole Strange. So those are two potential day one impact players because Cole Strange can also play guard. He can also play guard. He can play center. So far, not looking too bad. So far, not looking too bad. And now let's see who's available. And oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, James Cook has fallen. He is still there at 105. James Cook is still there. One of the first dudes Justin told me to go look at, JoJo Dahmen, is still there. They have him listed at linebacker, but this dude is like a hybrid. I don't know what JoJo is, man. I don't know if he's an edge. I don't know if he's a nickelback. I don't know if he's a linebacker, but all I know is he's a dog. So JoJo's available. We could go punter and really shake things up. No, I'm just kidding. We're not doing that. So you can see kind of the available players left. Ooh, look who that is. Oh, my boy. So you can kind of see how the board has fallen to us. There's still phenomenal options available. And the 49er, we have taken care of two huge positional needs in interior offensive lineman and edge. So we kind of have some house money. We could probably play around if we wanted to. So I'm excited to see what you guys are thinking here. So I'm going to catch up. Oh, it's Cook in a landslide. Oh, my goodness. It is Cook in a landslide. So essentially, if the 49ers get to pick 105, it does appear that we are sprinting to the podium to take James Cook. And I'll be honest, man, I got to talk to James Cook at the combine. I got to stand about 2 inches away from him as he got warmed up for the combine activities. As you guys know, I'm a big vibe guy. I'm a big body language evaluator. I think body language can tell you the type of person and the type of player these guys are. And when I watched James Cook in a group of a bunch of guys, do you know who the number one guy who stood out just from purely vibe, energy? Like, I've been here, I belong here, this ain't nothing to me. You know who that person was? It was James Cook. This guy, he's got that swagger. He's got that confidence. It just oozes off of him. And it's not a cockiness. You know what I'm saying? It's a, like, just confidence. Like, I know how good I am. And you can feel that vibe permeate off of him. So I think the decision has been made. With the 105th pick in the NFL draft, the San Francisco 49ers select James Cook, running back, Georgia. And oh boy, look at that stack. We got 61, Cole Strange at 93, and James Cook at 105. Boy, we cooking right now. We cooking right now. We cooking, baby. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see who's on the board. Uh-oh, we going BPA? We going BPA? Don't tempt me with a good time. Don't tempt me with a good time. We going best player available? Look at the way our board's stacking. Look at the way our board's stacking. We're going punter. We going punter. All right, let's, again, you know the drill. Positional need, because we do have to keep that into consideration. We kind of had a light free agency, and we do know with the 49ers, they actually kind of draft on need. They do. They will identify need, and they will go after it. So based on need at this current point, safety is still a big need. Slot corner is still a big need. Two potential starting positions that are still up for grabs. So let's take a look at safety. Let's see who's available. Right here, I'm trying to see, when do the 49ers pick next? Oh boy, it's going to be a long time. Oh, it's going to be a long time. 172 will be the next opportunity that the 49ers pick. Now, could they potentially try to see if Brian Cook slides? Again, I like Brian Cook a lot. Maybe a Verone McKinley. Maybe Marquis Bell. Maybe I think these two names I think are great values. So maybe these two names we want to target for safety. We'll see. Let's look at the cornerbacks. This is the available cornerbacks. You got Jalen Watson, Evans, Kobe Bryant, and a list of others. Chase Lucas out of Arizona State. But again, based on the board, where do we want to go? Back to overall best available on the board. Ooh, they got my dog still there. So, all right, let's see. I see Brian Cook. I see some Kobe Bryants. I see, lots of Kobe Bryants, lots of Brian Cook. Kobe or Cook is kind of where it's feeling like. It kind of feels like it. Yep. It feels like we're going that way. Oh, don't tempt me with a good time. Do not tempt me with a good time. I would absolutely contemplate taking Donovan West right here. I really would. Oh, look at the Wests coming in. Okay. Shout out the West Hive. Okay. All right. Let's call it between three players. Let's reset. These are going to be our options here to take. We are going to take. My boy. I seen my boy. Oh, they even got Luke Fortner down here still. So I think for expediency, let's go three options. Brian Cook at safety, Kobe Bryant at cornerback, and they still got Cam Jurgens on the board. Oh my gosh, these three. Oh my gosh, this is ludicrous in my opinion. This is ludicrous. Put some respect on these three's name. These three should not be this low. Oh my goodness. Could you imagine? Could you imagine getting a Cole Strange and a Cam Jurgens on the same class or a Donovan West in the same class. Ooh, baby. All right. So Justin wants Brian Cook, which I think is actually a pretty logical thought process. Because again, we already took Strange, and we do have to keep in mind that we have to draft a little bit for need, because we still need safety depth, as Cash the God points out. We do. But you know me, I'm probably taking Juergens or West, but I have to think like the 49ers. So could be. Ooh, this is a tough one, guys. This is a tough one. And again, remember, we got to play the game. Who will fall? Who will fall to 172? Will an offensive lineman fall? Will a safety fall? Again, let's look at the board. If you do like O'Neal, look at where he's slotted. 215, 211. So if these two, and I like Marquis Bell as well. So if you do like this idea, it probably wouldn't be a good idea to reach for either one of these two. And if you want to kick safety to 172 and target a Leon O'Neal, then maybe you just go with best player available. But Brian Cook, in my opinion, is really good. So let's see here. All right, it's this one's tough. I do not see a runaway winner here. I do not see a runaway winner here. I don't see it. I don't, but this is how I'm going to rationalize it. If it were up to me, you know me, I'm a trench guy. And the fact that you have probably 3 of the best center prospects still available, I wouldn't be able to contain myself. I would be taking Cam Juergens or Donovan West here. But we understand that, Talanoa Hufanga, Odom, Jimmy Ward, Tarvarius Moore, maybe there needs to be some more safety help, and maybe Brian Cook becomes that guy. I'm going to give you guys one more opportunity. Drop who you want right here, because I still see a lot of West. And I still see a lot of interior offensive line. And like Tio saying, we could wait for O'Neal at 172. So we're getting West, Kobe, Cook, best safety, which would be Cook in my opinion, West or Juergens. This is going to be a tough one. Cook, Kobe, Juergens, Cook. Protect Trey. I mean, hey. Oh, greetings from Germany. Let's go. And he's calling for Juergens. Brian Cook. Cute guy wants the honey badger. Cook. Ooh, this is a tough one. All right. I know what I'm going to do here. All right. We're going to see something. We're going to test this game again. Who's going to fall to 172? We're going to test it. Let's get here. We're at 134, so it's a decent climb to get back. But with the 134th overall pick in the NFL draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Brian Cook, safety out of Cincinnati. And I like this pick. But now, again, let's see who falls. do. Oh, Kobe Bryant goes. So Donovan West goes. Luke Fortner goes. Cam Jurgen goes. They all go off the board. None of them make it back to 172. So here we go. We went Brian Cook, which fits a positional need. He's also a good player, so I like him. I like the pick. Personally, I probably would have went Donovan West or Jurgens, but safety depth, we talked about last year, right? One of the things that we harped on last year in regards to the defensive back room was depth, and they had none of it. They had none of it. So we have made sure to address those positions. We got two cooks, baby. We got two cooks in the kitchen. We got Mr. Strange, and we got JJ. So this is how the draft has stacked for us so far. Punter's still available. But where do we want to go here? Do we want to potentially go interior defensive line? Maybe take a falling Justin Ross. Maybe look at offensive tackle depth in Kellen Deesh, who I like as a prospect and I think could be a great depth piece. But again, you already have 3 offensive tackles heading into camp, so maybe that's not a need as of yet. So far, I'm seeing wide receiver. All right, let's see what the wide receivers are looking like, and this could be a good spot to grab someone. Let's see. So Justin Ross, again, he's going to be a big-bodied wide receiver, 6'3", 205. I don't know why he's necessarily falling this much, because I do think he has some pretty good quality. I think he has some injury concern from my understanding. But hey, he is available. You got Taekwon Thornton out of Baylor, the burner. He's still on the board. Reggie Robertson out of SMU got a ton of speed as well. But we are getting pretty light in the wide receiver category. We're running out of options. Let's see. I'm also seeing nickel. Great point. 49ers still need some nickel help. But again, it is getting a little bit light, but we do have a prospect falling. Now, I don't know enough about Evans to have a take one way or the other, but at 6'2", 200 pounds, that's great size. You look at Emmanuel Mosley, you look at Charvarius Ward, that's the exact profile of those two. They're calling him a developmental perimeter cornerback, scheme tendencies, deep zone coverages, primary cover 3 shell, which we run quite a bit. So there could be a fit there. But like I said, I haven't watched this guy, so I can't pretend like I know who he is. But he is ranked 140 and has fallen. So far, I am seeing a lot of Taekwon Thornton. I'm seeing lots of Taekwon Thornton, and you get Taekwon Thornton, you're getting a burner. You're getting a burner. So let's go look at Taekwon. Taekwon is right here. He's 6'2", 177, former 3-star recruit. Ideal role, vertical threat, deep ball threat. So, I mean, the size that he brings and the speed, I believe he was what did he run? He ran something insane at the combine. I forget exactly what the numbers he put up. But, hey, coming out of Baylor, former 4-star recruit, and this late in the draft could be a steal. So it does look like, oh, baby. Yeah, he was a burner. He got that 4.28. That's fast. Tio says, I'd take Ross. Ooh. Oh. Maybe. But I think I can sense where the chat is falling. So let's make our pick. With the 172nd pick in the NFL draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Taekwon Thornton, wide receiver, Baylor, and they add a 4-2-2 burner to the board. But thankfully, the 49ers do not have to wait that long. And so a lot of the same guys that were available are still on the board. Potential guys that I would have looked at, Haskell Garrett at 185, I think is great value there for interior defensive line. I think he has the tools. I just think he has some raw ability to his game. But this is who we look at the slide of Matt Ariza, the biggest surprise of the draft. The biggest slide of the draft, Matt Ariza. See, something tells me John Lynch. Something tells me John Lynch is maybe licking his chops right here. Someone asked what the website is right here, the Draft Network. So let's talk about it though. Let's talk about it. This is a regime. This is a regime that took a punter in the 4th round. Let's remember that. This is a regime that took a punter in the 4th round. They did that. They did it. And they paid a kicker nearly guaranteed money. So, and we look at the offseason. The 49ers spend money on a all-pro gunner at safety. They bring in Burks, who's a standout special teamer, linebacker. They put emphasis into special teams on this squad. And oh man, would they do that? Because you're gonna have to pay that punter that you took in the 4th round. You're gonna have to pay. He's gonna need a contract extension. He's going into the last year of his deal. Do the 49ers like, oh, Matt Ariza in the 6th? We could trade Mitch Wish maybe for like a 7th? Maybe. We'll see. But I'm joking for the most part. I don't want to take it. I don't want to take a punter. I think it would be a black mark on our beautiful draft so far. I mean, look at this draft. We got JJ in 61, Strange at 93, James the Cook bros. We be cooking with gas with James Cook and Brian Cook. Taekwon Thornton, absolute burner. I feel like if we did go punter, it would just ruin the look of our beautiful mock so far. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that yet. But let's decide where we want to go. Oh, we're getting potential double dip at wide receiver. Again, think about it. Let's look at the 49ers wide receiver core as it stands. Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Juwan Jennings. Who else? Who else? That's pretty much it. I know I'm forgetting someone. But that's pretty much it. Connor Weddington, practice squad legend. Oh, that's right. I knew I was forgetting someone. We got Ray. There's 4. We got Taekwon Thornton, 5. I wouldn't be opposed to a double dip at wide receiver. I would not. Let's see. But let's take a look. According to, we still need that slot. We still need that slot corner, though. See, that's the thing, is we still need that slot corner, because right now, the way we're sitting, we're relying on either Ambry Thomas or Diamador Lenore to probably shift into the slot. So maybe we want to address that position. Maybe. Joey says, don't forget the Julio Jones signing in a month. Yeah, we gotta move Jimmy first, I think, before that's gonna happen. But it could happen. Who knows? No, Austin Watkins got signed by another team. I think Austin Watkins got signed by the Chiefs. He's not on our team anymore. We let him go. So we don't have Austin Watkins. He's gone. I believe he's on. I think he's on the bench. I'm sorry, on the Chiefs. But Hendrick's saying, I'm down for Demo to take the slot. Lenore is perfect for the slot. He's a dog. So, hey, people like him. But amateurs saying, if we go cornerback, get Lucas. Vaughn likes Jack Jones from ASU. Calls him a gem. Justin's been high on Sean Jolly. And, shout out Steph. She's been dropping some clips too. So we're getting to see a lot more Sean Jolly out of Appalachian State, courtesy of Justin. Director of scouting for the Sourdough Scouts. Chase Lucas does feel like a nice pick, though. Keith does say Dante Johnson could be moving to nickel corner. I don't know if I want that, especially when you look in division and you look at guys like Cooper Kupp and you look at Allen Robinson, and they're going to be playing both of those guys out of the slot. You look at guys like Rondale Moore, who maybe didn't have a great rookie year for Arizona, but he's twitched up. Good point. Maybe Darquez Denard, that maybe they like him to go there. Sanu is a free agent, so I don't believe he's available right now, or at least as an option. But so far, Chase Lucas, 5'11", 181 pounds, sub package corner. So what does that mean? Nickel. So maybe we go here based on how the board is looking, being able to bring in additional help to maybe challenge Demo and just have depth at the position. Excels in man coverage, has good hips, athleticism, helps him to stay in phase. He closes separation with urgency and is competitive at the catch point. Now that sounds like a phenomenal nickel corner, if you ask me. Tackling, he is good in tackling situations. He has true positional versatility. He's sounding good to me. He's sounding good to me. So let's reset. Let's reset. Chase Lucas becomes available. He's probably the clubhouse leader for me right now. He is also technically the best available prospect. Like, let's pretend this is our board. We spent months and months and months of scouting, doing all these things. Right now, Chase Lucas is number one on our board. Also, Alex Wright has met with the San Francisco 49ers. This is a guy, 6'7", who has met with the 49ers. I do know that. You still have guys like Justin Ross who are falling. Kellen Deesh at tackle, who I like quite a bit. Other cornerbacks, you have Kalon Barnes, Matt Hankins, Zach Tom, I think could be a potential option if you wanted to go there. But let's see what the chat's saying. What's this? What's the chat say? Oh yeah, we do have Keyshawn Johnson. I completely forgot about that. Good point. Good point. I forgot about him. Keith wants to see tight end. All right, let's take a look. This is what the tight end's looking like. Oh, let's get my boy, offensive weapon. Bellinger could be a nice piece. But what are we feeling? We did not take anyone. I'm going to take someone. Let's get to the bottom of it. Even though the San Francisco 49ers were able to get Charvarius Ward, we do, and they were able to re-sign Darquez Denard. They did bring back Dante Johnson. Diamador Lenore is, of course, there. Ambry Thomas is there. Based on the board, how it's fallen, and the fact that Chase Lucas can play inside and out, I like the positional versatility that he can offer. So with the 187th pick in the NFL draft, the San Francisco 49ers select cornerback Chase Lucas, Arizona State. And I like this pick because I think it fits a need. Again, think of it too. He can provide a special teams role as well. So I like it. I like the move. So we can use him in multiple different situations just other than depth. He could be a gunner. He could be a guy that comes in and contributes on special teams in his first year. All right. We're getting to that point, though. Who's falling? Who's sliding? At pick 220, it does look. Oh no, we got back-to-back picks. I swear we had missed. I swear we had the Mr. Irrelevant pick, but I guess not. At least according to this board. So based on what this mock draft simulator is telling us, we need quarterback, IDL, linebacker. Let's look at our picks. We went edge, interior offensive line, running back, safety, wide receiver, cornerback. So we've done a good job of addressing a lot of holes and needs. Now is the time to take guys who are free falling. Stop them from the free fall. We got back-to-back picks. So these are it. We're going 2 back-to-back. So that gives us a lot of flexibility here. Lots of flexibility. We could go Leon O'Neal. We could go back-to-back safety because if we're also looking into the future, Tarvarius Moore is on the last year of his deal, coming off an injury. He's always had a hard time kind of from a mental side of things. Maybe they don't see a return. Maybe they do grab a Leon O'Neal. Maybe they do grab a Marquis Bell out of Florida A&M. 2 guys that can maybe develop, kind of sit, potentially play special teams, maybe move them to practice squad. Could be an option. So let's see who else is available that we could potentially like here. I don't know if wide receiver potentially becomes a target. See what else we got. Maybe offensive tackle for additional depth, but I do like our depth. Again, we still have a 5th round pick in Jalen Moore. Colton McKivitz got re-signed, and Justin School should be returning from injury. So still decent amount of fairly decent safeties available. Do we go running back? With one of these picks? Because let's keep it. Oh no, we already went running back. Strike that from the record. So let's see. Justin says O'Neal just for Jordan. Hendrick says O'Neal and Cook for the future would be crazy. Mark is looking for right tackle depth potentially. I feel like we're at the part of the draft where we've addressed a lot of needs. We take who we like. We take who we want. Do we again, we brought back Ross Dwelly, so we have the current room available. This is one of my favorite guys from the combine. This guy, to me, feels he's got some of that George Kittle to him. Get out of here. Chase Allen, to me, got some George Kittle to him. Not used a ton as a wide receiver. All right, let's get one pick out. I know where we're going. Let's get this one done. So, with the 220th pick in the NFL draft, the San Francisco select current fan favorite Leon O'Neal with the steal out of Texas Tech. So the 49ers got depth. Now, they come out of this draft with 3 defensive backs. Where do we want to go now? Do we want to go with another wide receiver? Do we want to take a shot at another running back? Do we want to go tight end potentially and get some competition into that room? So, where do we want to go here? Where do we want to go? So far, I see tight end. 2 tight ends off the rip. Oh, more tight ends. Wide receiver or interior D-line. O-line or tight end, tight end, tight end. Cash says no tight end. O tackle, D tackle, wide receiver, tight end. All right, let's look at some of them. Let's go to the tight ends first. Tight ends. So Nick Muse, we go back to the well. South Carolina. 6'5", 250. A 4-year varsity football player at tight end and linebacker. Let's see. Scheme fit spread. So they have him as more of an athletic profile based on this breakdown. Does look like he is going to be a decent wide receiver, willing blocker. So he could be a target. Connor Hayward. I love him as a weapon. Exactly. He can do so many different things. He could play H-back. He could play tight end. He could play slot. He could do so many different things. He would be a lot of fun to watch, especially with someone like Kyle who can move these guys all over the place. That would be kind of fun. Again, I do like Chase Allen, but hey, if Chase Allen's at 357, maybe we go bring him in as a priority undrafted free agent. So I'm seeing Connor Hayward as a potential. Let's go to IDL. The 49ers did sign Hassan Ridgeway for the interior. Kevin Givens did come back to the team. They did let go of obviously DJ Jones, but also Kentavious Street. But the 49ers are also getting, hopefully, knock on wood, Javon Kinlaw back. These are the current kind of D-line prospects that are available. Let's look at tackle. These are some of the tackles that are available. Let's look at maybe wide receiver. All right. Running back could go. Ooh, I think Abram Smith's going to be nice. I'm not going to lie. I think Abram and Zonovan both have an opportunity to be nice. You know who I think is going to be really nice? I haven't talked about him yet. I haven't posted about him. But when I was doing my scouting report, or I was doing my scouting on offensive tackle, Abraham Lucas out of Washington State, you know who kept jumping off that tape? This man, Max Borghi, white boy supreme. This dude looked nice. 5'9", 195. Dude, don't let the 5'9" fool you. This guy, like, I could see him being a guy where Kyle's like, we could have a role for you. We could have a role for you, Max. Again, a great vision, great balance. He has, the ability to initiate contact, great vision. I'm not lying. White boy supreme. Like, I'm like, okay. It's not too often we see some of those WBSs moving like that. But I was like, okay, maybe he's a guy that I like. But again, he's at 300. Potentially get him in as an undrafted. Exactly. I'm not gonna lie. Again, I scouted CMC. We've seen CMC throughout the league. They're not the same, but you get a little CMC vibes. I'm just saying they have that the similar like suddenness. Now, it might not be to the extreme that CMC has, but the suddenness that Borghi has is there. I would be happy with him. Oh, yeah. Rachaad White's one of my favorite prospects in this class. 100%. Rachaad White's one of my guys in this class. What's up, James? It's all good, my brother. We're just wrapping up. You can help us get our very last pick in. I was just waxing poetic on White Boy Supreme Max Borghi. But let's go back to the overall board. Hey, do we go quarterback? The 49ers are going to need 4 quarterbacks heading into camp. But to be honest, I would just bring an undrafted free agent in. Clearly, they have 3. A lot of money invested into those quarterbacks, so maybe they don't go quarterback. But here is the board. Where do we go, ladies and gentlemen? I am going to allow you to make the last pick for the San Francisco 49ers. So drop it in the chat. I'm curious because I know Justin is high. Oh, they got Zion McCollum at 276. Oh my gosh, I might have to go Zion McCollum just to go Zion McCollum because there's no way. I don't see this. What are we doing? Why is he so low? Zion stood out to me at the combine. Like his athletic ability, I was like, whoa, who's this guy? His on-field drills, what Zion McCollum was doing on-field in the on-field drills, I was like, ooh, who's this guy? And as a result, ever since then, he's flying up the boards. I've seen Zion go as early as like 3rd round. So where do we want to go here? If Zion's available, you probably got to take him. I'm just getting onto the Marquis Bell hive. I like Marquis Bell. I think he has the potential to be a big-time sleeper in this class at safety. Solid movement skills, really decent size, tenacity, downhill movements, tackling ability. I'm kind of liking Marquis Bell, but we already took Leon O'Neal, so we're not going there. Everyone, I'm seeing a lot of Zion. Do we just go Zion and make this the dopest we just go Zion and make this the dopest mock draft live 1.0 that we could have had. Should we do that? Should we just again we can all post it on Twitter and be like, look at how good we are at drafting. We got Zion with the last pick. Look at how good we are. Look at how good we are at drafting. All right, let's do it. Again, you're gonna leave. You're gonna let Zion fall there. I was coming to look to see if Josh Jolly was here, but I don't see him. So we're gonna come away. The San Francisco 49ers with the 21st pick in the NFL draft. Select Zion McCollum, cornerback. Sam Houston State. Marquis Bell goes shortly after. And that concludes the San Francisco 49ers mock draft 1.0 live. And shout out to the Draft Network for, let's go to user picks. And this is what we are looking like. I want to screenshot this because I think we did some nice work here, ladies and gentlemen. For this being mock draft 1.0, I think we did some good work. But now we need instant grades. We need instant grades. See, I think we have Mr. Irrelevant too. I would imagine maybe they haven't updated that. So, but beside the point, drop your draft grades. How did we do? How did Mock Draft Live 1.0 go? Drop your draft grades in the chat. I want to see what you guys think. So far, Michael gives us a B+, EJ A-, B+, A-, A, B+, C+, A, B-. Ooh, Joey doesn't like the first one. B, C+, CMC grade, B+, strange B+, solid A. Hendrick says we got 3 day one starters, possibly 4. James calling it a B+. He's given the Cook pick a B. I like the individual grades that he's passing out. B. So I would say if I had to give us a draft grade, I like B+. I like B+ because when you look at JJ, again, he's probably going to be a situational pass rusher year one. I don't see him being a guy who's going to be a 3-down edge rusher. You're going to get him kind of into the system, allow him to get up to speed with Chris Korsek, have a bit of a learning curve. He will be able to rotate in with guys like Eric Armstead, Charles Omenihu, Samson Ebukam, obviously Nick Bosa. So you give a guy the ability to not have to take on the load right away, which allows him to come up to speed at his own pace. Then you get to 93 with Cole Strange. Now, Cole Strange could potentially be a starting guard for the 49ers based on how the competition plays out. Is Aaron Banks the guy? Does he come in and push Aaron Banks for a starting job? Does he come in and push Brunskill for a starting job? I think he could. I think he's more inclined to push Banks than anyone else. But he also offers the position versatility to back up and or potentially start at center for the 49ers, which is going to be huge. But really, What you're looking for at Cole Strange is to be the center of the future. So might not be an impact this year, but next year, 100%. Then you get James Cook at pick 105. I like that pick. I like it. McCarr doesn't, but I do. I really do, because the reason why I like the James Cook pick at 105, the 49ers need a legitimate third down running back. They need a legitimate third down running back. And so the way I see it playing out is you have Elijah Mitchell as your base down back. You even heard Kyle Shanahan reference it when he was at the owners meeting, when he was talking about Elijah Mitchell. What did Elijah Mitchell need to improve on? The third down role, pass blocking, receiving. He needed, according to Kyle, he said this a week ago, that's where he needed most improvement at. So this allows you to keep Elijah Mitchell as your base down back. You get James Cook, who thrives as a receiver. You can use James Cook as a wide back. James Cook isn't just a wide running back. You can use him as a slot. You can move him all over the place. So on third down, when we've seen the 49ers bring out Jeff Wilson, when we've seen them bring out Deebo Samuel, they put Deebo in the backfield. They put Jeff Wilson out in the slot. They're motioning Jeff Wilson across the formation. James Cook could play that same role. So I like it, and I think at that caliber of player he is, I'll take it. But I also like this proposition. I like this proposition a lot. Justin says, I would have taken Shakur at 105 and Rashad at 134. I might have to agree with him. I might have to agree with you here, Justin. I think I might have shaken it out just like this. Shakur at 105. Rashad White, the homie. Ooh. Rashad White's nice, baby. If you haven't watched Rashad White yet, oh, you're gonna get all the Mostert vibes. Trust me. Might not have that breakaway speed that Mostert has, but that like patience, the vision, the cutting, the toughness. Oh, Rashad got it, baby. He got it. But I like that. So I would be happy with that if it shook out like that as well. But the 49ers are able to get Brian Cook, who is a safety that I really like in this class. I think he's underrated. I think for him to be at 134, I think he could potentially be right there as a top 100 prospect. But hey, you get him at 134 and get more depth at the position. You have Odom, who could potentially start. You have Tarvarius Moore, who could potentially start. You have Talanoa Hufanga, who could potentially start. Taking a safety at 134, I like the logic there, and I like the player that you get. Then we go to 172. We take Taekwon Thornton, burner. And the reason why this matches the way the 49ers are built, they have a quarterback who will challenge safeties deep. Now, of course, if Jimmy Garoppolo is the starter, maybe a Taekwon Thornton isn't a great scheme fit or a archetype fit, because Jimmy likes to throw over the middle. With Taekwon, that's a burner. That's a dude you're sending on go routes damn near every play, just to make sure the safeties have to be honest with that speed. So you're sending Taekwon on go routes. You're getting Deebo and Ayuk coming under. You got George doing whatever George does. That could be nice. You get Jawan Jennings, Keyshawn Johnson. So Taekwon at 172. Again, he's a traits guy. Good size, 6'2". He's a burner. So he's a traits guy. Develop him into a wide receiver over a couple years. Could be a returner as well. But then we took at 187. We took Chase Lucas at cornerback, a guy who could play slot corner, potentially play outside. I like it. I like that pick a lot. And then, of course, steal at 220 to get Leon O'Neal, safety out of Texas A&M. That's a steal of a pick. And so the 49ers come away with 2 safeties, 2 cornerbacks. We talk about the defensive depth last year being a huge issue heading into training camp. Oh boy, that ain't an issue anymore. We took care of that issue. Shout out the sourdough scouts. The sourdough scouts said, you know what? We don't want this defensive back issue anymore. So we're going to take 2 safeties. We're going to take 2 cornerbacks because we probably got the steal of the draft with Zion McCollum at 221. I think we can all agree that he's probably going to go much higher than that. But Joey says, I like the other ASU corner a little more. Jack Jones, former 5-star, with character concerns, but best cover man on that team. I'm going to have to take a look at him. But to get Zion with the last pick, I mean, stealing. So, good job. Hey, good job, squad. I think that's a pretty solid first attempt at our live mock. I think we did pretty good. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think the mock mustache gave us some powers there. I think the mock mustache did some wonders. I think we did pretty nice there. I don't know about you guys, but that was fun. I enjoyed that. If you guys have any questions, you want to ask anything, go for it. We're kind of to that point where we start to get off the rails. But I do like how we did our first mock draft live. It's pretty fun. The mock stash, baby. So I thought that was pretty fun. Should we talk about Brian Burns the rest of the show? Also, too, do me a favor, smash that like button if you haven't already. We would appreciate it very much. We would really appreciate it. Jesus says, we didn't start at 6 or 11, so great mock. I think it's hilarious. That the first mock draft that we ever did together, we mocked at 11 because we when that report dropped from The Athletic that the Washington Redskins were willing to trade a first-round pick for Jimmy Garoppolo, we're like, oh, yeah, give us 11. Let's go. What a time to be alive. Hendrick says, more Brian Burns talk because it's actually kind of working. It is working. So I think potentially next mock draft that we do, I think we should probably do 1 mock draft a week until the draft. Clearly, we got 1, 2, 3. So we would have 4 opportunities for 4 more live mock drafts. So I like that pace. Let's do 1 live mock a week. So we got 4 more opportunities to do stuff like this. And so what Justin's saying, he said would have loved trades, could have traded down to get an extra pick in the 90s and taken Dulcich. I agree. So next time, because of the NFL Mock Draft Simulator through the Draft Network, you have to pay to be able to do trades. Now that we got the first one out of the way and we kind of got a pace to how to do it, we will shift back to the PFF Mock Draft Simulator, which allows trades, and we will get a little crazy with our next mock draft, and we will get a little bit more creative because I think we could all agree that the 49ers are going to do just the same. They're going to move up and they're going to move down. So now we can start to do the same as well. And we can absolutely, when we're all said and done, we'll have 5 mocks, and we'll see how each mock kind of landed. And then, obviously the last mock we do will be our final. It will be how we think it's going to go. And it'll be interesting to see how well it matches up against the real thing. So I'm excited. That was fun, though. That was fun. I like that. Let's see. If I do want to invite any of you with graphic design skills. If you have graphic design skills, I am on the hunt right now for Brian Burns swaps. So if you have graphic design capability and you want to help with the essentially manifestation of Brian Burns to the 49ers, I need your guys' help to get some more swaps. So far, this is pretty much what I got. So if anyone has any graphic design skills and want to have some fun, let's work, because this is the best I got right now. Well, technically, this is the best I got. But I also got this one. It's literally a bee with Brian Burns' face on it. And if you aren't aware, we are the originators of the hive. So anytime you see like Brian Burns hive, things like that, that's why the bees. And it's appropriate. It's appropriate. But so far, these are the swaps that I'm getting. So although I love them and I think they're freaking hilarious, if you are good at swapping, then help your boy out, because clearly the swaps are headed in the wrong direction. I love it. I freaking love it. So it was funny because I've seen people, you're not the first to say, is he going to wear 53? If you guys don't remember, there have been a lot of players who've worn 53 since Bowman retired, and they've all been special teamers. So they haven't really. I don't think you would necessarily have to get the approval, because if Brian Burns took 53, it would be the most prestigious player to wear the number since Bowman retired. I think the most recent person to wear it was Mark in Nocha, the German special team player. We also had Jonas Griffith, who wore 53 before he got traded. And then I think before that, it was Mark again who wore 53. So, hey, we haven't gotten someone in that 53 to really do justice for it. So if Brian comes along, he would be the first to actually do it. Harold says, LOL, if Brian Burns never becomes a Niner in his whole career, at least he will know he had a whole fan base in the Bay. Oh, he knows, dude. I know Brian. I know Brian's brother. I mean, not like we've never personally met, but I've been talking to Brian's brother this whole time. I've been talking to Brian Burns' brother this whole time. This whole situation's been going on. Absolutely. Absolutely. How is it delusion? You don't want to fight this battle with me, my guy, because I will have too much of a rational answer for you, and it will go against what you think. I'm just saying. Steve said, Brad, you sold me so hard on Brian Burns the other day. I went out and spent some major dollars on his rookie auto cards. Let's go. Let's go. And just so you know, Power Fitness, just so you know, Steve came in to the chat and said, I'm absolutely insane to think that Brian Burns has any chance to come to the 49ers. Power. And look what Steve just said. Look what Steve just said. This is a guy who, just like you, Power, came into this chat and said, you're insane for thinking Brian Burns for Jimmy. Are you kidding me? And I said, oh, all right, bet. Now look at the result. Now look at the result. I sold this man so hard, he went out and spent a bunch of money on his rookie cards. That makes me happy, Steve. That makes me happy. I love it. I love it. Oh, we got a Washington fan in here. Howdy. What's up? You should have taken Jimmy. Man, you guys should have just waited a little bit. Should have just waited a little bit. Before his no trade clause was waived, they went out and got Carson. Oh, let's see. Any more Brian Burns? I think I got one more. I could do one more little thing on Brian Burns. I could do one more thing on Brian Burns. All right, let's do it. Oh, he says unbelievable. Sell me on it. All right, hold on. I've already done. I think I've already done this twice for my guys, so I don't want to beat them over the head with the same sales pitch, but I do want to talk a little bit. I guess I could. I mean, someone asked me to sell them on Brian Burns. That's the highlight of my day. So I put this out on Twitter. I'm going tough, baby. I said this Panthers team, because this is essentially the roster. Let me see if I get this even bigger. So this was the roster that the Panthers trotted out onto the field last year. Now, when you look at this roster, there are weapons all over the place. DJ Moore, stud. Terrace Marshall, stud. Christian McCaffrey, stud. He got hurt, but hey, they had who was the backup that came in? Chubba Hubbard, I think, came in, and he looked good. So Chubba Hubbard came in as a rookie, did well for Christian while he was hurt. But you have Robbie Anderson, legitimate wide receiver, a great wide receiver too. I mean, this 3 wide receiver stack right here, that's nice. Dan Arnold, underrated. I like Dan Arnold, especially as a receiving tight end. Decent offensive line, enough to get the job done. But then you look at the defense. You had Dante Jackson, J.C. Horn. Obviously, J.C. got hurt, so the little asterisk there. But Jeremy Chin, one of the better safeties in the league. Denzel Perryman, which they shouldn't have traded, but they did. Don't know why. Shaq Thompson, pretty solid. But they had Hassan Reddick, Derek Brown, who's, from my understanding, a high draft pick. Same with Daquan Jones and Brian Burns. All you're doing right here, by having Sam Darnold in this position, this team went 5-12. This team went 5-12. And I look at it and I'm like, so there is a proof of concept that exists that you could have 2 elite edge rushers, Hassan Reddick and Brian Burns, on the same squad. And that contributed to 5 wins. With Jimmy Garoppolo in, he's won a lot of games. So I think if you add Jimmy to this roster, I think they win more games. And Power says, how? We have no real draft capital or money. And you think they want Jimmy's contract? Well, see, here is the key point of emphasis. For this particular situation, where is it? Hold on. The general manager for the Panthers, I posted his response somewhere. Is it here? No. Sorry, I'm trying to find his. He had a whole ass quote about what they're going to be doing with the draft process. I don't know where I put it. Damn it. So I'll recap. Essentially, what he said. This is Fritter, the general manager, for the Panthers. Obviously, they're interested in a quarterback. Obviously, they're interested in offensive tackle. Those are two of the main positional needs for the Panthers. Well, Hassan Riddick signs with Philly. Brian Burns, they pick up his fifth-year option. And essentially what their general manager said was, we're going to pick up his fifth-year option. Here it is. He says he's talking about positional needs, all that kind of crap right here. And he gets to this point. And because he's talking about potential draft picks at number 6. He says, and we could always go pass rusher because Brian Burns is coming up. They're picking up his option to extend his rookie deal until 2023. I mean, we'll do the option, but if that money gets out of hand, it's better to have somebody ready to go in the hopper. So, a big key point of emphasis here. A big key point of emphasis here is he could have said, we're going edge to replace Hassan Reddick. He didn't say that. He said, we're going edge, potentially going edge, because essentially we're not going to pay Brian Burns this massive contract that he could be potentially looking for. Because as we know, Brian Burns is one of the hot, young pass rushers in this league. So that right there makes Brian Burns potentially available. Because if a GM is speaking openly about essentially moving on from Brian Burns, that is the crease in which you can strike a deal and start talking about options. Now, back to what Power's talking about. They have no real draft capital or money. Well, guess what? The Panthers need a quarterback. And this GM knows that if he doesn't get a quarterback who can win him games, he is fired. If Matt Rule can't get a quarterback who is going to win them games, it doesn't matter if Brian Burns is on the roster because neither one of them will be there to extend him and or potentially trade him in the future. So that's a huge point about this. And when you go back and you read what he is saying about the quarterback, just listen. This will be interesting because tackles will be the best players on the board, but we do need a quarterback. At some point, you have to take a shot, especially in the top 10. You hate to force it because when you force it, you could make mistakes. And right there, this is a general manager and a coach who are literally on their last thread. If they go and take a quarterback like a Malik Willis, a Matt Corral, a Kenny Pickett, and they're Sam Darnold 2.0, Matt Rule's probably getting fired midseason. Fritter won't be here next year. So you have to take that into consideration. These guys need someone who can win. Now, we understand the limitations that come along with Jimmy Garoppolo. He is injured. He's coming off this stuff. He's got a high contract. He's not the most desirable quarterback, but what can you say about Jimmy Garoppolo? When he plays, the teams win. And I know QB wins is a stat that is much more than just a QB situation. But when you take a step back, you look at what the Panthers are up against. They need a quarterback who can win football games. And when you have Terrace Marshall, you have DJ Moore, you have Robbie Anderson, you have CMC, all you need to do is get the ball into their hands and they will do the rest. What did Jimmy do with the 49ers? Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, getting them the ball and allowing them to use the yak to get through that. So we're working through the fit first. The fit is Panthers need to win. Jimmy isn't the best quarterback. He isn't going to just do anything crazy. However, he is efficient for the most part, and he has proven that he can be a leader and win games, and that's what they need right now. And a rookie sounds great, but the rookie probably isn't going to come in and win you games. Again, look at how many games the last year's rookie class won, and that class was much better than this class. And so then you get into the conversation, well, how do you get Brian Burns for Jimmy? Of course, they're not going to do Brian Burns for Jimmy straight up. What you're going to do is you're going to take Brian Burns, a 3rd round pick, a 5th round pick, a 6th round pick. You can add on a potential 2023 4th rounder that has an incentive-based tag on it that could then reach 3rd round value, 2nd round value if he makes it to the playoffs. So it can be an incentivized pick. And so all of a sudden, the Panthers have a quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo who can win now. They could take a quarterback in the 2nd round in a Kenny Pickett, a Malik Willis, a Matt Corral, a Desmond Ridder to sit behind Jimmy. And then they have a plethora of picks to then go get more edge talent, more get offensive tackle talent. And if they're already admitting to not paying Brian Burns, or if his price tag gets too much, now you're able to sell Brian, sell him to a team who will get the cost-controlled contract for 2 years. And then all of a sudden, I think things could move in the right direction, because this isn't Jimmy for Brian straight up. When people think about this trade from a high-level perspective, they think about it as like, oh, it's Jimmy for Brian straight up. No, it's not. It would be Jimmy plus additional draft picks to be able to get Brian onto this team. Then you allow Brian to play on this first year of his rookie contract. The 5th-year option has already been picked up. And then going into his 5th year, you then start to negotiate a contract because the cap is going to explode. Jimmy Garoppolo's contract is no longer on the books, and the Panthers have a ton of cap space. So this is how I see it happening. This is how it works. You just say, listen, y'all need to win, and we got a quarterback who has proven to win, but we don't want him anymore. This is too perfect. You got both of these general managers or these front offices posturing about, oh, well, we could take a quarterback top 10. Yeah, okay, go take a quarterback top 10, Panthers. See what happens. Matt Rule, maybe we'll interview for a quality control coach after next year, because you're going to get fired if you take a quarterback in the top 10, because guess what? He's not going to win you any games. So sure, do it. Go for it. Fritter, you want to do that too? You want to stake your career? You want to stake your career onto Malik Willis, who has immense upside, but Zach Wilson has immense upside. Trevor Lawrence has immense upside. Justin Fields has immense upside. Trey Lance has immense upside. Mac Jones has immense upside. How many games did those quarterbacks win? And no quarterback in this class is better than any quarterback that I just named. So if the Panthers are going to go out of their way to take one of these quarterbacks at 6, thinking it's going to win them games, oh boy, come on down, Matt Rule. We're looking forward to you being on the quality control staff next year. Fritter, maybe you could be a scout for us, because y'all would have botched the hell out of that. So that's the point. The point is, Panthers need to win. Jimmy Garoppolo is a veteran. He's taken the 49ers with his limitations and being hurt to 2 NFC championship games in 3 years. One of them, he was out-dueling Patrick Mahomes in the first half of the Super Bowl before everything just fell out. And we all know what happened after that. So, again, you let me into that room with 49ers front office and the Panthers front office. You know what my gospel is. Y'all need to win. And we know you need to win. And we know none of these quarterbacks in this class are going to do that for you. So, okay, don't get Jimmy. Don't get Jimmy. That's fine. You're not going to be here to develop Malik Willis. You're not going to be here to develop Malik Willis. And we got David saying, yes, I would choose Malik Willis over Jimmy in this life and next life. So would I. So would I. So would everyone else. He says, stop the cap. Thinking Jimmy is going to change a franchise is the reason you can't listen to these little 49ers commenters. What this man doesn't understand is that coach and that GM have an owner who does not care about developing someone. He cares about winning. And it's become crystal clear that team needs to win, or Matt Rule's fired. Fritter is fired. So then again, now you're up. Now let's play this scenario out, David. Okay, you take Malik Willis at 6th overall. You fire the coach and the GM who take him. You bring in a new GM and coach that have to make Malik Willis work. They have to make it work. They don't get the choice. They have to make it work, which makes that job even more undesirable, because you then are stepping into someone else's mess to try and clean up Malik Willis getting developed by Matt Rule and falling on his face. Because I think we can all conceptualize that if the Panthers take a rookie quarterback, it's probably not going to go well. And you're putting all of that on a rookie coming out of Liberty, who I like a lot. And if I had 5 years to develop Malik Willis, 100% I'm taking Malik Willis over Jimmy Garoppolo. But that is the key point. They don't have 5 years. They have 1 year. They have 1 year to prove that they can win. So like I said, if you take Jimmy, you send Jimmy plus picks, you get Brian Burns back, the Panthers could add more edge depth in one of the deepest edge classes we've seen in a while. They can add the edge back through the draft. They're then able to draft a quarterback to sit behind Jimmy Garoppolo and then develop properly at a normal pace. You can take a Desmond Ridder in the 2nd round. So, again, yeah, he doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. But that's my spiel. And I think, a lot of people focus on just the games. There's a lot more to playing football than just throwing the football. So I think there's a world that exists where the Panthers are that desperate. I think there's a world that exists where the Panthers understand that if they don't win and make the playoffs, they are screwed. Every offensive coach is getting fired. Every defensive coach is getting fired. Every front office staff is getting fired. So again, if they take a player at number 6 who is a quarterback and it doesn't work, they're setting themselves back twofold, because now you have to hire someone who has to believe in Malik Willis and tie their wagon to Malik Willis. That's a tough ask. I would much rather have Jimmy Garoppolo, Desmond Ridder, Arnold Ebukati, Boye Mafe than Malik Willis and Brian Burns. Because there's no proof. Oh, super chat. Oh, I think I missed this. Yes, thank you. All right, sorry. I was in the zone. You got me talking about my hypothetical Brian Burns trade. I'm in the zone, baby. You got me talking about my hypothetical Brian Burns. I'm in the zone. Cash the God says, Brad, fun fact, I talked to Quentin Patton last night on X9er. What is X9er? We shot the breeze on a couple different things, and of course, we talked about Lance and Jimmy. LOL, he gave me a lot of good insight. I love QP, man. QP has always been a great friend of the channel. QP drops in my lives whenever, from time to time. Love QP, man. Love QP. QP's legit. Oh. Got it. I hear you. I love QP. QP's a legend, bro. Fun fact about QP. Got you. I got you. Fun fact about QP. He was the draft crush. Coming out of La Tech. Oh, I love QP. I loved QP coming out of the draft. So much so that the 49ers drafted him in the 4th round. I bought 2 jerseys of Quentin Patton. I didn't buy 1. I bought 2. I bought the red and the white. Number 11 Quentin Pattons. Like, that's how much I like Quentin Patton. Like, I was a huge Quentin Patton stan pre-draft. So when the 49ers took him, I bought 2 Quentin Patton jerseys. Red and white. I love QP, man. Love QP. That's cool that you got to talk to him, man. QP's good people. He's a great person. And if you remember QP, energy was through the roof. Oh, I don't want to hear that. Oof. I think I remember that too. I think I remember Cap locked on to Crabtree and just let it rip. Oh, pain. Spain with no S. Big L dropping big L's. Facts. So let's see. Justin, director of Sourdough Scouts, says, went and watched Dulcich versus LSU today, and there were a couple passes the QB just missed him when he was open and would have went for big gains. I feel like he's going to go higher than these mock drafts are like letting off. I feel like he's going to go higher than these drafts are letting off, because obviously I feel like he's like going to be the second or third highest ranked tight end in this class, and I don't know. I don't know if I see him falling past the third round. Like maybe fourth, maybe. But I like him. I like him. Let's see. David says Jimmy playoff stats: 4 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and 0 touchdowns. Wait. Playoff stats: 4 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and 0 touchdowns. Oh, and 2 interceptions in the playoff wins. People aren't blind. Jimmy was not the reason we won. Jimmy was the reason we didn't win the Super Bowl. Okay. Sure, David. Because football's all about stats. That's really what matters. They play for the box score. That's how it works. I should probably stop scouting body language. Probably the body language is the reason why. With that same logic, George Kittle wouldn't have been a draft crush of mine. Because George Kittle only had like 700 receiving yards over 4 years at Iowa. But yeah, you're right. I should pay attention to stats more. Because again, if I did that, then maybe I wouldn't have crushed on Kittle coming out because I knew what he was capable of. But you're right. Football is just about box scores. Box score watchers have the final say. You're right. I forgot. He probably doesn't think Kittle's good either because he didn't have a lot of stats. Probably the same boat. He's probably gonna be like, oh yeah, Kittle's ass too. Did you see his stats? You see Kittle's stats? Kittle's ass. Do you see his stats? Trade Kittle. Guarantee you that's David. I guarantee you he has the same thought process. Oh yeah, send Kittle to the Panthers too. You see his stats? Oh. Hey, listen. I hear you. The mistakes are tough. The not seeing the underneath linebacker, missing the open throws. Again, one of the things with Jimmy that has been frustrating for me, the man can't hit a running back out the backfield to save his life. And it's always been, you go back to 2019, him trying to hit Coleman in the Rams game, Coleman literally wide open. You go back to the Jags game this past year, him trying to hit Jeff Wilson. Like, I get it. He's not perfect. He's not the best quarterback in the NFL, but he's better than Sam Darnold. He's better than a lot of quarterbacks. And guess what? Playing quarterback, even though game manager carries a negative connotation, that's half the battle. Half the battle is being a leader of men. I can tell you 100%. And again, everything that we've heard about how Jimmy has a calming presence in the huddle, all that. I play football. I'll never forget the first game I started. It was also my quarterback's first game starting as well. And he came to the huddle on the very first drive and he was shaking. And do you know what that message sent to that huddle? Oh boy, we're about to get our asses whooped because we're looking at the guy who's the guy and is our quarterback. And, he had great stats. Talk about stats. He was second in California in passing yards. How many games did we win? I think we won like 3 games. But hey, he had I think some of the second best stats in California. All of California. But I think we won like 3 games. So I can speak to that side of it. I can speak to, I've been with a guy who can throw the ball everywhere, put up a ton of stats, but he just didn't have that. All right, you gone. Goodbye. Enough of that. No one cares, bro. No one cares. So you can play both sides of it, man. You can play both sides of it. Part of being a quarterback is having an intangible skill set. Same reason why Sam Darnold is a bust. Sam Darnold is a bust because he doesn't have what Jimmy has. So people need to rationalize that. People need to rationalize the fact that Sam Darnold is a bust who has arguably the best arm talent in the NFL because he doesn't have the prerequisite to be a leader, to be a good game manager, and put his team in good positions to win the football game. That's half the battle. And you have a guy in Sam Darnold who's arguably one of the most physically talented quarterbacks in the NFL, but he is about to bust out of the league at like 25 years old because he doesn't have the intangible skill set it takes to play the quarterback position. If there's anything we've heard about Jimmy Garoppolo, he has the intangible skill set to play quarterback in spades. Now, what does that translate to on field? Does that translate into him throwing dimes every play, not making bad turnovers? No, he still makes bad decisions. He still makes bad reads. He still misses. He still throws suicide slants. He still makes bad decisions, bad passes. That comes with it. But he has the intangible skill set that is required to play quarterback. Let me say that again. He has the intangible skill set required to play quarterback. Sam Darnold does not, which is exactly why Sam Darnold will not be playing next year as a starter. Has nothing to do with talent, has nothing to do with stats. They're the perfect yin and yang to each other. Jimmy doesn't have immense tools. He doesn't have deep ball capabilities. He doesn't throw outside the number with regularity. He misses wide receivers and running backs in the flat a lot. But guess what? There's more to playing quarterback than just that. So, and that has translated into the 49ers winning games. So, call what you want. But that time has passed. We're moving on from that. But another team could use that. Another team could use that. And the hope is the Panthers can be that for us. Can be that for us. But like I said, it's not Jimmy. It's not Jimmy for Brian Burns straight up. We're giving you Jimmy and a ton of draft capital. We're giving you Jimmy Garoppolo and a ton of picks. Do you want a player potentially to go with Jimmy? Sure. And that's the conversation. And that's why people who are too dense to be able to understand the conversation at hand is it's not Jimmy for Brian. It's Jimmy plus picks to get Brian. And guess what? That gives the Panthers the flexibility to do a lot of different things, to be able to have a leader in the locker room, gives them the ability to draft a Desmond Ridder who has great tools, but might need a little bit more time to develop the intangible side of things. And then you can supplement with edge in the draft, grab a Boye Mafe, grab an Arnold Ebuketi. You're good. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to like it. You don't have to love Jimmy. No one is saying Jimmy is a top 5 quarterback. No one's saying that. Not one. Not one. But Now I want it to happen even more, just so we can victory lap on David. Now I want it to happen even more. Now I want it to happen even more. And yes, the Panthers do need a linebacker. They do need a linebacker. Frank Gore seems to think so. Frank Gore seems to think he's top 20. Do you trust Frank Gore? You don't have to trust a random guy speaking into a microphone. You don't have to believe a damn thing I say. But do you trust Frank Gore? All-time 49er running back, third overall in rushing history. Do you trust him? Because he thinks he's a top 20 quarterback. You don't have to trust me, but listen to how players talk about Jimmy Garoppolo. Don't listen to people who talk about statistical analysis. Don't talk about, because you have two differentiating thought processes and ideologies from people who analyze statistics versus people who have actually played the game. The people who play the game all have the same opinion of the guy. The people who just analyze his stats and film, yeah, it's not the best. It isn't. If you're just going to look at Jimmy through statistical analysis and like what he does on the field and how often he's hurt, yeah, that's not the best. It's not the best, but guess what? They win with him. You can't argue that. You cannot argue that. You cannot. But this is fun conversation with David. This is fun conversation with David. We're clearly off the rails, and I'm having fun with it. I'm having fun with it. So again, I think he's valued. I think Jimmy's value doesn't match the common fan, the common analyst. Again, I think people who've played football have an ability to conceptualize what it takes to be a good football player. And again, if your argument is statistics and talent, I will show you Sam Darnold and show you why that isn't the only thing. Because if that was the only thing, Sam Darnold should be the best quarterback in the NFL. He's got one of the greatest arms in the NFL. Have you seen Sam Darnold throw the damn ball? Have you seen it? He can throw it anywhere. Outside the numbers, into a hole about this big. He can throw on the run. He can throw over the middle. He can hit everything. But why doesn't he? Why is he a bust? Because he doesn't have anything that Jimmy Garoppolo has. And that's the part of the again, it's the same exact process that I use as someone who evaluates draft prospects. I'm not just evaluating what you do on the field. I'm evaluating between plays. What does your body language look like? How do you respond? How do you pick up your teammates? How are you a human in a game amidst nothing but adversity? If you don't have the capacity to manage adversity, you are not going to last in the NFL. That's exactly why Sam Darnold is busting out, because he does not have the capacity to manage the adversity that comes along with playing the position. That's why he cannot do it. And so what does he do? He starts seeing ghosts. He isn't able to read the field properly. Why? Because he has too much anxiety about everything that's going around him, and the weight of the world is on top of him. Then he starts pressing and he starts making mistakes. Simon says, Brad, how do you think Carolina staff would approach the risk with Jimmy's health in a potential trade? Would you be comfortable with risking their job on his ability to stay healthy? So that's part of it. That's part of it. Is like I said, if I'm the Panthers, am I thrilled that Jimmy Garoppolo is like my only option right now? No. If I'm Fitterer or if I'm Matt Rule and my only option is Jimmy Garoppolo, I am not jumping through hula hoops to be like, we got to get Jimmy Garoppolo. But I also recognize that my job security is directly tied to a quarterback who can win football games. Do you know what the Panthers did last year? They went out and spent second round, I believe a fourth round and a sixth round to go get Sam Darnold because of the talent. Guess what? That talent didn't do nothing. 5-12 last year, and they're done with him. They brought back Cam Newton mid-year. Like, epic failure. So this is the thing. All right, I got no other options. There's no other options. I need someone who can help me win this year because I don't want to go back to college. I don't want to go coach in college anymore. Or I don't want to go be running backs coach for 4 years until it takes me to build my reputation to get back to being a head coach. So again, if you can sell me on giving me Jimmy plus additional draft capital, and if that means I have to give up Brian Burns, but then I can draft an Ebukati and I can draft a Desmond Ridder, then I'm gooch, because that's exactly it. I would get Jimmy and I would still draft a rookie quarterback. I would still draft a Desmond Ridder. I would still draft someone in the second round. Again, they have a early second round draft pick. They would then have all the capital to move wherever they want in the draft. So if I'm the Panthers, would it be a position that I want to be in? No, it'd be that would be the last place that I would want to be. However, I recognize it doesn't matter, because if we don't win this year, I'm getting fired. So I got to figure out something. Yeah, Jason, they got me going on the Brian Burns thing. You know how that goes. You get me started on the Brian Burns topic, I won't stop. So they got me going on Brian Burns. We're having a nice debate. I'm having fun. We're having a good debate. Good Friday. Shout out my boy Jag. Appreciate you, Jag. He says, I just want you to know how much I appreciate your hard work and dedication to give the faithful great information. Thank you for your positivity. Shout out, Jag. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Bro, I can go for days on this one. I could go for days. Shout out, Jag, though. Appreciate you, my boy. I hope you have a great Friday, man. Yeah, Baker. I would, and this is the thing with Baker. Baker's a better, I would say, better talent than Jimmy. But what's Baker's problem? It's his mentality. It's the intangible. It's the intangible process of being a quarterback. That's the problem. So, again, Carolina has no options. Neither do the 49ers. And that makes them perfect trade partners, in my opinion. Oh, boy. What about Jordan Love? Why isn't he cut? Because I think they've indicated that Jordan Love isn't really good. Again, for the same reasons. I think Jordan Love was drafted because he had the physical tools. But I think since they've gotten him in the building, they've realized you don't have the intangibles or the mental, capacity to be that type of quarterback. So, no Kittle for Burns. Can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. I don't know who that is. Charbonnet? I don't know who that is. He said, I saw him looking at Dulcich today. Yeah, I don't know who that is. Oh, that's right. I didn't even mention PJ Walker. They have PJ Walker. And I like PJ Walker. But this isn't Jimmy Garoppolo to the Panthers isn't a like our number one option is Jimmy Garoppolo. That's why it's Jimmy Garoppolo plus a ton of capital to be able to recoup a good player in Brian Burns. Taking advantage of the desperation, taking advantage of the fact that they've admitted that they might not pay Brian Burns. Hell yeah. You can tell if they let me into that conversation, I'm not taking no for an answer when it comes to Brian Burns. Like, if they open up the floodgates and we're like, hey, let's talk about getting Jimmy Garoppolo. You know what I'm doing. I'm like, oh, perfect. What is it going to take to get Brian Burns? And they're going to say, oh, we're not trading Brian Burns. I'm like, okay, we're not trading Jimmy Garoppolo. Oh, all right. What do you have up your sleeve? Let's hear it. I'm like, all right, great. I'll give you Jimmy plus third, fifth, sixth, 2023 incentivized fourth to turn into a second. What do you need? I got you. Let's make this work. I think we could at least have a conversation about it. And I think it could materialize into something. Brian Burns to SF. Love it. I love the name. And this isn't a good idea because then again, you're eating $7.5 million and getting zero in return for a top 20 quarterback. So that's actually not a great idea at all. But anyways, you know me, I can talk about this situation until I'm blue in the face, and I pretty much have. But that was fun. So let's see. I think we could call it a day for today. I think we had a successful mock draft. I got to again scream about Brian Burns, which I can do any day of the week. And I am pleased. I am pleased with that. So I hope you guys enjoyed me screaming into the microphone about Brian Burns. Someone asked about the Kittle hoodie. Yep, I got the Kittle hoodie. I got this in 2019, I think. So I don't think anything's going to happen till the draft. So if anything will happen, it won't be happening until the draft. So we're still going to be waiting and seeing. I'm still going to be manifesting Brian Burns. Like I said, Brian Burns will be in the Bay about a week from now. And I would have been there. I would be going. But I will be on vacation. Much needed vacation. So unfortunately, that will be missed. But I think one of my homies is going to be out there. So I am going to make sure he gives me all the scoop. Gonna make sure he gives me all the scoop. So we will see. But I imagine we will be talking on Monday. Again, I'll probably only be I can for sure say I'll be doing a live on Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, I'm traveling. And I will be on vacation until the following Wednesday. And so I will probably go live while on vacation just because I'm a degenerate and I love talking with you guys. And I can't not talk about 49ers football for more than one day. So I'll probably be going live on vacation, but it will probably be sporadic and might not be every day while I'm on vacation. So just wanted to give warning that is heading up next week. But like I said, we'll like to do another mock draft next week, and we'll go from there. So shout out to everyone. I appreciate you all. I am going to head out now. Y'all have a great Friday. I will still be manifesting Brian Burns in my spare time. That won't stop. So I appreciate everyone who hopped in. Smash that like button on your way out. Y'all have a great weekend. Love you guys. I'll see you on Monday.